important to me. Also, I'm talking to, like, it depends. It could be high school, it could be a business, it could be a lot of stuff. Older people have to be patient because we're trying to reach younger people, but even guys like 20, 25, some guys 30 years old do not know how to go see the girl and go talk to her. If you can master talking to the girl, you can talk to anybody, anywhere about anything you want to do, anything you have. It's a gateway. It's not just, oh, girls, girls, girls. It was when I was, 18, 20, 25. Now it's like, but I can talk to anybody, obviously, so can he.
1,000%. And even to kind of go back to also what Rose is saying right now is kind of one of those things too. Being able to communicate with the opposite sex and being able to communicate with women, like we keep saying, it's a through line to so many other things. Because if you're confident enough to be able to see the beautiful woman in the room and hold a conversation with, and see, that's the thing. I think some people are getting twisted a little bit because if your
Mm-hmm.
ability to have actual deep in depth meaningful conversations with a woman and you're able to catch vibes with them. You guys are able to talk about deep things, whether it be their ambitions, whether it be things about the mind, things about just being vulnerable. You gotta kind of understand that is not as surface level as some of you may look at it. So just kind of be aware of that. And then also, at the end of the day, I am a young single man that in my time when I'm not working my ass off and working on different designs and things like that, I do like to indulge with the company of a beautiful woman. And I would like to think that any guy or any of my young guys out there that's watching my vibes and things like that, they always tell me, they send me DMs, that's the type of vibes that they also want to do too. So it's also a teachable lesson. Just because everything isn't being taught to you doesn't mean that these values and these gems can't benefit someone else. So
when
just kind of
when
be
you're when
cognizant
you're a
of that as
kid,
well.
well, we're in high school. I'm not
For
going to say,
sure.
hey, can you go up and talk to that girl for me? No, I'm going to go
Nah,
myself.
you got to learn to do it
But
yourself.
if you want to go work at IBM, Telecom, any of these big places, you want to work at Google, I'm not
Yeah,
going to send him in. Oh, Danny wants to know if he can work here. Can you have an app?
yeah,
They're going to say, forget these two guys.
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure,
the
for sure.
art is communicate. Like Trump always says, it's the art of the deal. No, it's the art of communication. Learn to communicate. But to do that, again, you have to know who you are
Yeah, that comes down to
and
you at
what
the end
your
of the day.
purpose is. And if you act in your gift will put you before great people.
Literally, literally.
But if
But
you have
you got
nothing
to
to
be able
give,
to communicate it too.
yeah.
You got to be able to, once again, you got to polish, go at, attack, always tinker at your gift, and you got to also be able to stand and communicate and be able to yell at the top of the mountain how talented you are.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to have to speak for yourself. Sometimes you're going to have to defend what your belief system and tell us why'd you make that movie that way. Tell us what made you name your restaurant this. Tell us what made you want to write this book. Like those different things sometimes come from a place where we need you to you got to explain something to us that we may not understand. So that's where that side of the idea of the communicating the proper way to different people in different facets of your life that can always benefit you. So always, never, ever, anybody out there sitting in the corner by yourself, you hear Danny say it all the time, we'll just feed you under the joint. Like you, that shit will never benefit you ever in life. So make sure you're actively communicating, whether it be the ambitions, the ideas, anything that's involving of you being able to go from point A to point B of just achieving some shit. Make sure you're communicating your goals to the loved ones so they know how to properly keep investing in you, keep challenging you, keep seeing you from different facets so they can understand you in a better way. So that communication can take you a long way, a lot further than people having to interpret things without you explaining to anyone. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to clear that up because there's been some people that says, "Oh, it's always girls." I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Shout
it's
out to bro
not.
for doing that too, man.
I mean, I'm not criticizing everybody, but I mean,
Yeah.
I know who I am. I know who he
Yeah.
is,
For
and
sure.
communication. Well, if somebody's different, we're different.
Yeah.
You can see this, right? We're
Yeah.
there's
That's why I appreciate. That's also
and
why I appreciate bro because y'all know me. I wouldn't have never addressed it. That's why I appreciate him for even bringing up because I wouldn't have been the one to say the things like that because if that's like I said, if that's what you guys think of anyone that made that comment or things like that is just like it's wild surface level for
and remember, like, I'm probably gonna get some shit from some guys, but again, guys are kind of slow. Or if you're in school and you're kind of timid, you can be a rocket scientist, but it makes fun of you. It's okay. Be in love with your faith. Your faith is what you're gonna do.
sure.
You find the answers in your heart and you go for it. And then later, the guy that was bullying you, putting your head in the locker, 15 years later, you're begging him for a job, and he says, I'm sorry, I got to fly my girlfriend to Hawaii for lunch today. I can't help you. You know, I've seen a lot of this in life. I've seen a lot, a lot.
Make sure you stay. You gotta stay down, stay working on whatever it is, and then also be humble in the process of this shit, man. Because the same person that it could be somebody right now that you could be the friend that you spending all your friends in college doing all types of different shit, and you still tinkering, working at your music career and shit like that. You feel like everybody's past you up, bro. Stay down in 3 years, bro. You're gonna be the guy, and then everybody's gonna be sitting up there trying to ask you for tickets to your tour and shit like that. So sometimes we got to be mindful that life changes rapidly fast.
You have to be, I do. I have to be very, very hard on myself because I know when I'm my worst critic, I also celebrate my victories. That's okay. But if you're always hard on yourself, like, I can't do it, I'm a loser, I'm this, I'm that. You weren't born that way. Your brain, you were not born with a brain that says, I'm a loser, I'll never have any friends.
It's got to be about.
It's a learned it's a learned behavior.
It's got to be about at the end of the day. It's got to be one of those things where you got to sit up there and you got to be cognizant of those things where yeah, you could be accountable and you could always hold yourself to where we do a mirror check and you kind of understand things that you can get better at or you can improve, but at the same time, like Danny just said, you got to be able to celebrate the wins, celebrate the good shit, celebrate when things are going right, celebrate when it was like you wanted to hit a goal, you wanted to hit a certain mark and you actually reached it. Like it's alright to celebrate those too.
A point I want to make here to remember here is you can be very, very hard on yourself, and that's a good thing. But you have to be very understanding of others who are not up or down. It's like different. I have to be very understanding of people that don't think like me, and that's okay. But I've told him it sounds bad. I hold myself to a higher level. I would never hold anybody else there. But then I can disappoint myself faster. And you guys say, "Yeah, that's great." I'm like, "No, it's not great." But I can celebrate the victories. We do something good. It's fun. It's cool. The main thing is to keep moving forward, not backwards. Some people are going backwards, and I say keep going. They keep going backwards. I'm like, stop. It's like a free. You drive down the freeway, everybody's going 65, 70 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden it's like you stop. That's the world. The world is moving. It's fast. It's like you stop, you get smashed from behind, and the world passes you by. You gotta stay in your lane and go. You go. Don't criticize people. Criticize yourself, and then you grow. You grow.
Man, that's a really valid point right there.
That's just my opinion. I mean,
no, but at the end of the day, that's another thing that I gotta say that I agree with. Because at the end of the day, when you can kind of always be able to hold yourself accountable, kind of be able to improve within, it's a lot easier. Especially when it's.
That's a good point. You know why? Because if I hold myself accountable, if I don't, nobody else is here. Who's going to hold me accountable? Some don't have a lot of friends, or they're close enough to say, "Hey, you're drifting here." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Some people don't have a lot of friends. I mean, I know hundreds of people. But
unfortunately, that's why even sidebar to get back to that point real quick, but even that and get out and fucking touch grass and meet people. Don't ever lose sight of that. So if you don't have a lot of friends right now, like how Danny was just referring to, change that shit. These are things that you can actively change with something that we call effort. All you gotta do is it just requires effort, time, and just trying new different vibes and things like that. But also when we going back to kind of talking about just improving and different things like that, it makes life a lot easier too. Because at the end of the day, no matter, it's great. A lot of you guys, girls, you guys were talented. All these different things. Mommy's little just princess and daddies, all these great things. But we don't live in a fucking perfect box. So improving yourself, getting better, and things like that, that's just a part of life. Like you naturally, no matter what it is, you go through phases in life where you maturing. You get a fucking zit, you get a pimple, you live with it. You're not gonna fucking miss school just because you get one of those things. The imperfections in life, it tends to make your story a lot better. So don't ever put yourself in this box where you don't want to improve yourself, you don't want to tinker at things, you don't want to stay accountable. Then it also kind of makes the room a lot easier because if we're all in a room holding one another accountable, I never have to stress if I'm in a room with four of us and we all each other in our spare times is holding one another accountable because I know at the end of the day this person wants to improve to this higher level, so it makes the room at ease a lot more too. So just kind of be mindful of that when you start dealing with bigger groups and when you dealing with when you're being conscientious of the world, you're not just thinking about yourself at the end of the day.
You're not how's his? You're not mold. You don't just grow on your own. You have to improve yourself. You drive yourself. You celebrate your victories. You correct your mistakes, and you keep moving. I'll tell you something. Everybody's dying right now. We are all dying.
He was making this.
Yeah,
He was making this point earlier. I want him to go. I want him to kind
yeah.
of talk about this, Bob.
Time goes higher and higher and higher, higher. It's like a space shuttle flies up. One day, snaps gone.
Right.
You're like, it wasn't supposed to be this way, and it's not. It was your fault, my fault. So take advantage of those moments. If I see her argue with somebody over here, I'm like, I'd have a better conversation talking to a damn fire hydrant, because the time I spent with this fool, I can't get back. He allowed me to give him an hour of my time, and that's an hour of life that I can't go do something I want to do and make something good with that time. So I'm very conscious. I'm very conscious with this. And that's why I discuss a lot of this with him, and we bounce it back and forth all the time.
And that's one of the biggest things. We was also saying that too, because a lot of the times, sometimes we take things for granted. And we was having this conversation also with another woman as well as where we was at earlier, and she also shared an example of when we was kind of talking about that, where she had to express to someone else because they was confused as to why she was so energetic and why she had such good energy, and she was just kind of explaining like this shit could be so much worse, and she wasn't even talking about herself. Like she was a very selfless individual. She was just being grateful for the kids in her life. She was just being grateful for the life she had, the job she had, the different things. So it was just sometimes I think a lot of the times we take these moments and we almost expect to wake up the next day. We expect to see our loved ones